Welcome to the Kitsap Matters podcast. In each episode, we discuss the people, places, and things that make Kitsap County unique, covering local entertainment, restaurants, business, government, and anything else we find interesting, troubling, or just plain amusing. This is a community-focused podcast, but sometimes financial topics do arise, and since the host is a licensed financial professional, we have to include the following disclosure in every episode. The strategies and concepts discussed are for educational purposes only and do not represent specific investment, tax, or estate planning advice. Investing carries an inherent element of risk, and it's in everyone's best interest to consult a tax, legal, or investment professional. Kevin Campbell is an investment advisor representative of and advisory services offered through USA Financial Securities, a registered investment advisor located at 6020 East Fulton Street, Ada, Michigan, 49301. Peaks Financial is not affiliated with USA Financial Securities. All right, welcome to another episode of Kitsap Matters. Today we're thrilled to introduce Alexander Rodenko, a successful entrepreneur and true leader who exemplifies the values of hard work, determination, and investing in yourself. Alexander leads by example, building a career around something he's passionate about while putting people first. His dedication to his team and his mission of delivering peace of mind every time is a testament to his character and leadership. So outside of his professional life, Alexander cherishes time with his wife, 3 kids, 2 dogs, and a cat. His guiding principle is staying grounded no matter how successful you become and always taking care of the people around you. So I'm sure you're probably tired of hearing about it at this point, but we mentioned this at the beginning of every show. If you're familiar with Peaks Financial, you've probably heard of our SAIL formula. The SAIL formula is the system that we use to manage the financial planning process. It's all about the key components of our planning philosophy. In the name SAIL formula, as you can even see right up here, the first 4 letters of the word form, F-O-R-M, represent family, occupation, recreation, and money. It's all about what matters most and what we can control. So what's fun about our planning approach is that it provides a great outline for interviews like this. So let's jump right into it. Alexander, thanks for being here.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
So as I just mentioned, that's kind of the outline we're going to follow, and I've got some notes here to take us along. So from a family standpoint and kind of a little bit of the origin story, right? So you and I know each other, and in full disclosure, Alexander is a client of Peaks Financial as well. But we actually know each other from Rotary, the Poulsbo Rotary as well. And you own Emerald Installation, and but that's where we met each other. But tell us a little bit about the origin story, and I don't know how much of it I know. I know you and I have had a lot of conversations, but I'm sitting here thinking about I don't know how much of the origin story of you I know. I mean, obviously from your accent, I'm guessing you're from Detroit. Kidding.
Pretty close.
Yeah, pretty close, right? So tell us a little bit about the background and how you ended up in Kitsap County.
I was born in Ukraine, left and was raised in Israel for quite a few years, and then came to the United States in 2004, end of 2003. And the construction business, floor covering business, was a family business, managed from the living room of the house.
Right.
So that's like a very classic common story.
Right. A lot of businesses start in living rooms or garages.
Yeah, being in the floor covering business, that's not something I had in mind for my career when I was younger, but it became very quickly about client service and how to serve the community.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a fun part of the whole process. And from living room, it grew one person at a time, and had all adventures up until COVID, and then we had to change kind of direction and restructure and find new opportunities and new adventures. And it's still very much a family business. Long story short.
Awesome. And so how did you end up in Kitsap County?
Family, my first wife, she lived in Seabeck, all the way out in the woods, and that's how I ended up in Washington State, and specifically in Kitsap County.
Awesome.
And then when life took a different direction, and I stayed in this area because that's where the business was and where my family currently is.
Well, it's a great place to be.
Kind of fell in love with all this nature and beauty and people as well.
Yeah, great people, great nature, great place to be. So, and so you have, how many kids do I remember? 3 kids.
3 kids.
Yeah, and what are their ages?
5, 10, and 16.
So you're a busy guy,
Interesting. Never boring.
right?
Yes.
So, what do you think is the most fun about being a dad? What do you love about being a dad?
I love watching personalities develop and change. It's so much curiosity, so much excitement, and so much unknown. It's an opportunity to support a developing human
Yeah,
into whatever potential they can become, and also learning so much about like how you supposed to be that, or what does it mean, and all the new worries and excitements that come together with having kids.
and what about your own parents? What would you say is an important lesson you learned from your parents, or how did they influence you?
How to be a good human. It's I just had the same conversation with my parents. I talk to my mom every day. She lives in Israel. And the big part of my own character, it was their own kind of leading by example. How to put others first, and how to live your life with compassion and kindness.
Mm-hmm.
It's the passion about giving more than receiving, and I still don't know how they did it for so many years. But just liking people, they were all about what can I do for you,
Yeah.
and it's beautiful.
And I would say you resonate that. I mean, you and I have had many conversations over the years, and I hear you when we're out at other events, like at Rotary and things. I hear you talking a lot about community and about doing the right thing. And so that's excellent. So let's kind of transition a bit into occupation. So, what do you like about what you're doing now? As you said earlier, you said, "Hey, that was never, my dream wasn't to own a flooring company," but you transitioned into it, and it's about customer service. And what is it you like about? What's the most enjoyable part about what you do now?
The most enjoyable part is being able to solve problem for someone else and watch their life become better,
Mm-hmm.
and being a part of positive impact on somebody's life. And I think what I love the most is being in control of how this whole process is going. So comes with lots of responsibility, but
Right.
also with, hey, I did that, or I can do it better. But also working with people one-on-one, listening to their life stories, to their struggles and to their needs, because it's never about like flooring. It's something else, the why in the process, and how that will make their life of their families and their pets and everyone else better.
Great. So
Very cool.
something we talk about here a lot with almost everybody who's a business owner
Mhm.
is technology and how technology changes. And so now in your world, I'm sure technology has made some changes. I don't think necessarily like, I tend to think of technology changes as like AI and that kind of thing. But there's been a lot of evolution in your space, and the biggest one I can think of is materials, right?
Yes.
You used to just have a couple of options, right? You had carpet, you had tile, you had hardwoods, and then you had fake stuff, and the fake stuff was bad, right?
It's very affordable.
Right, it was very affordable, but it was bad, right? So I'm thinking like you're like grandma's linoleum, fake flooring kind of stuff, right? So, but there's been a significant change in materials in your space. How do you see technology impacting your business over the next, in the future? The next 10 years, the next 15 years.
I think it will greatly impact the educational process, how to tailor the right solution for the client's needs, but also avoiding the pitfalls of not such reliable products. Because that's where I've seen so many struggles trying to find fast solutions which are not suitable. And then the person who ends up paying for it is the client.
Right.
Understanding better not just the kind of product, but what colors, what will have the greatest positive impact on the interior space of the person.
Right.
You've heard about biophilia so many times, but that becomes an integral part of any designing process. Is it grays? Is it light colors? More greens? I see, like in the
Color
near
can
future.
completely changes space.
Yes, because now we know science kind of supports it, that like your environment where you spend most of your time directly impacts your mental health, your physical health, and it becomes very important.
Yeah.
So I see the technology helping us tailor the product, the color choices, the design choices to better suit individual preferences.
Yeah.
And even so much better to make your living space more welcome, more relaxing, where you can recharge and enjoy life.
I couldn't agree with you more. You know, when our office here that we're in right now, now granted all the viewers can only just see what's right here, but I get a lot of comments when I'm on Zoom meetings. I've had several people ask me, "Is that real behind you?" Because our office kind of looks like a fake background. Because it's so nice. It looks like a fake background. I've had several people ask me, "Is that a background or is that really your office?" I'm like, "No, it's my office." I've literally had to come walk out the door and walk back in so they can see that yes, it's an actual room. This is not a Zoom background. All right, and it was designed by another mutual friend, Michelle Doyle, who's been on the podcast here before. Was the interior designer who did this space. And when I first walked in here, I was like, "This is not going to work. There's no way. It was hideous." And Michelle was like, no, I can see the vision. I couldn't see it. I'm not a person who I can't see that. And that's something that I'm kind of jealous of for people like you and for like Michelle's like, I can't visualize. That's just not one of my skills, is being able to visualize what this is going to look like at the end when it comes to colors and room and all that. And I was really, really unsure about this. And it's actually a wonderful space. And you're so right. I spend more time in my office here in this office suite than I typically do in any single room in my home, right? Because I'm at the office all day. I go home, I have dinner, I go to bed, I get back up, I go to the office, right? So home, I spend more time here in the office than I do at my house. So it's really nice to have a pleasant space to be in. And again, it makes a difference in the day. It makes a difference in the staff's day. So it certainly can make a difference in your home as well.
So much.
Right? So, what do you think is the biggest misconception about your line of work? What do people think, or what do people think that is incorrect or misconceptions?
I think main misconception I see is how much learning and practice and effort it takes to become a good installer.
Mm-hmm. You can have the best materials out there, but if they're improperly installed.
Yes. Yes, I think the amount of effort I see from partners we work with and families that like do this day in, day out is a learning curve, and actually figuring out the best tools and the science behind what they do, and how to make sure that every penny of your investment will not go to waste.
Right.
And I think that's a big misconception. We saw like people buy really good products and then save money, cut corners on the installation or labor side, and losing all of it because it will not withstand the test of time. And of course, it used to be I learned to install carpet from my uncle. This is no longer the reality. We have certified classes, we have a technology that helps a lot, resources that are available, and the individuals who are truly putting their heart and minds into how can I get better, and not clinging to their I used to do it this way
Right.
30 years ago.
Yeah. Here's how we've
Now-
always done it.
Yes, because you're correct. The products and technology itself came such a long way, but if you don't have certified, qualified individuals to use it, to install it, what's the point?
Yeah.
So that's the biggest educational gap that we're trying to overcome almost on a daily basis. Like, yes, you should definitely invest in a qualified installation labor craftsman part.
And so
Just
while we're
materials.
talking about kind of your company in that realm, what is the, obviously you're a flooring installation company. You want to talk real quick about what kind of product lines you carry? Is it, I know you do carpet, I know you do tile. What
Yes.
what other kind of flooring and work does Emerald Installation primarily focus on?
So full shower remodels, we can do kitchen remodels. Our biggest partner for line of materials is Mohawk, and they carry commercial and residential lines of products where we can find solution to pretty much anything you need. Natural hardwoods, cork products, wool carpets. So for people who have certain allergies or preferences or need something specific. And definitely focusing on...
What do most people, if they have allergies, what is your typical solution there? Obviously it depends on what they're allergic to, but typically if somebody has if your average hypoallergenic kind of thing, what is it you look at? You look at just trying to eliminate carpet?
Well, in many cases, wool carpet will do the trick because it's naturally hypoallergenic and has many benefits.
Gotcha.
Of course, you have to know what not to do with materials and how to ensure longevity. Yes, please don't spill your red wine all over your white wool carpet. Will be difficult to clean, but has many natural
Can you get me
benefits.
one just that's already pre-stained? Like
Yes.
already looks like wine was dumped all over it?
We did have projects where we installed very red carpet.
knowing it was likely to get
Someone planned for success, for
right?
sure.
Yeah.
But yes, definitely we have those specialty solutions for clients who have health concerns or very focused on like environmental aspects.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
never personally. I would never buy white carpet.
Not a great idea. But hey, that I have to say that nowadays carpets are forever clean and easy to clean. So you have technology that caught up with clients' needs. So when you do get white carpet and you spill something, they kind of stand behind the warranty.
Really?
It will be white again.
That's interesting. I wonder if I could get shirts like that.
So if Mohawk have a wonderful video about the rhino test. They had a rhino living on the carpet
Really?
for quite a while and cleaned it, and it's available on YouTube and quite
All
mind-blowing
right.
to
So
watch it.
there's a little rabbit hole you can go down and just
Rhino.
go watch the YouTube
Yes.
videos on Mohawk flooring with a rhino.
Mohawk carpet and rhino. Look it up. You will love it. It's quite fascinating.
All right. So you have changed my mind. I wonder if like I said, I wonder if I get that technology in a shirt.
It's
That'd be
amazing.
great. We were just joking earlier. Somebody sent a shipment a little while ago. A shipment arrived here at the office, and it was somebody was sending me a custom branded pullover, and it's white. And I was like, "Hey, this is really cool. It's beautiful. It's a wonderful material." But I'm like, no, anybody who knows me knows that I should not be wearing white because it's going to have coffee on it or something here pretty quick. So I must be very careful while I'm wearing that. Yeah. So me and white are not a good match.
Second that. We'll see.
Yeah. Point. I've never seen you wearing white either. All right. So we talked about. We've kind of talked about family. We've talked about occupation. Oh, real quick, while we're talking about that, where can people find more about your company? What's your like website, that kind of stuff?
emeraldinstallation.com. We own a Facebook. Website is very interactive and gives you an idea of what we're doing. Come and visit us. Next to Town and Country. Nice showroom. And
Oh, that's right. You do have a showroom right here in Poulsbo next to TNC
Yes,
or
sir.
Town and Country, and right here in Poulsbo you've got a storefront showroom.
yes, because nothing helps choose the right solutions like to feel it, to see it, and
Yeah.
to have our support.
Awesome, that's great. So, all right, so we've talked about family, we've talked about recreation, or I'm sorry, we've talked about occupation. Comes to recreation, when you're not doing flooring or chasing kids, what do you like to do with your free time? Where would we find you when you're not working and things like that? Are you into sports, foods, arts?
All of that. So in outdoors, nature, adventures.
That's such a theme around here. I think so many people live up in this area because of the outdoors, right?
Yes, but also when we can and time allows and a budget allows, we take family on adventures outside the country or in US. So we love traveling. We love experiencing the new cultures, new foods, and new places.
What's
So-
the coolest one you can think of off the top of your head?
Coolest one.
Coolest trip, coolest location, coolest something.
Uh, Trip to Italy was one to remember because it was all family kind of meeting in the middle, family from Israel and us meeting in Europe, and the food, the nature, it was something else.
Awesome. What city in Italy did you go to?
We did all the traditional stops, including Rome, and we went to Montepulciano area. We've been to Tuscany, right in that area as well, and I'm sure I'm forgetting quite a few places. Majority of my memories have to do with food and drinks and family. I have to be honest, because it's wow.
That's
It
cool.
was-
I have not made Italy yet. We were actually supposed to go right at the beginning of the pandemic. We had a trip planned for, I think we were doing Spain, France, and Italy. And of course, that trip got canceled due to the pandemic and never got rebooked, of course.
Hey, I'll remind you.
Yeah, one of these days, one of these
It's
days.
a beautiful place to go.
So, what's your favorite activity to do with your family as far as recreation? Or is it the travel?
Travel, yes, and then if it's local, then we definitely going outdoors, hiking. It keeps us active,
Yeah.
nature. We can take our dogs, so that really kind of go-to for us.
Awesome. So, all right. So then, so we've hit family family occupation recreation. Now we talk about money. So as we think about money, what or who have had the biggest influences in your financial life?
Have to blame parents. A cliche, but I think a relationship with money, it's definitely learned from them, where we never had too much, but we always had enough.
Yeah.
And when we needed it, it was there. It was kind of very interesting dynamic of not worrying about it, but it was an important part of family functionality.
Very good. Do you remember when you bought your first investment and what it was?
Is car considered?
No,
investment?
a car. Not unless not unless it's appreciating in value. So this is one of the lessons of finance, right? All the time is it an asset or a liability? A car is a liability. Now, if you have a vintage Mercedes Goldwing or Goldwing, that could be an investment.
Then I would have to go with being very fortunate finding our first house.
Mm-hmm.
That was, I think, the biggest and the most challenging investment,
Mm-hmm.
where I definitely felt like, oh, it's not going to happen, and then it did, and it's like everything kind of fell in place.
Yeah.
And I'm very grateful for my wife doing all the legwork and being like 2 years looking for the best fit, and then kind of being very lucky to be able to pull it off.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. Real estate's a wonderful investment. So, any other thoughts you want to share on money? Any tips or any thoughts for people on money? Like, for example, like, is there anything you think that the financial services world could do better?
Financial education. I think if I could go back and do things differently, is investing more time into understanding the dynamics and listen to right people for advice.
Yeah.
How to plan better for the future. Because the concept of living for today and then who cares about tomorrow is kind of cute, but not.
It's great when you're 22.
Yeah, and you catch yourself like getting older and like,
Yeah.
oh, and not very good. Especially coming from the family where like investments and that whole money aspect was not something that my parents were educated or
Yeah.
knew how to educate us.
Yeah.
You
very
work hard,
Yeah.
you make your money, but the impact that I had watching my grandparents savings disappear overnight when Soviet Union fell apart, and all they worked for just turned into nothing, literally into nothing. Definitely gave me a different perspective on what security is and how to understand the importance of money, but not make everything about it.
Yeah.
And how to learn kind of better planning, put things aside, invest in the right strategy.
Yeah.
To support your needs and needs of your family.
Yeah. That's some sage advice right there.
Financial education.
Yeah. Okay, so now we're down to my usual last question. Best kept secret in Kitsap County. So what's something that you like, your family likes, and it's not, I use the term best kept secret, but it could be a hike, it could be a restaurant, it could be a brew pub, it could be whatever you want it to be. It could be a view from a mountaintop. What comes to mind of something that in Kitsap County that you think is really cool that not everybody might know about?
Port Gamble is our go-to. I think many have heard about it, and hopefully people go and visit it. But the trails and the butcher and baker, when you're done with the trails, is a guilty pleasure, I think, for my family and I.
Yeah.
So when we have time and we can get away, that's kind of for several hours, wander in the woods, and then
that's a place that comes up frequently because it's just such a popular destination here, and it's so close, right?
It's very close and it never feels the same, and it just kind of hits the right marks when it's not too hard of a hike and you get to walk and talk and kids running around and enjoying their time.
I have to admit, I usually do it the wrong way. I go to the butcher and baker first, and then I never make it to the trails.
Cannot blame you. It's they definitely do offer some good foods.
Yeah, that's a good place. So butcher and baker would be another one, right? Not just Port Gamble, but butcher and baker.
Yeah,
so, is there anything else you want to add? Any other thoughts? Anything you want to tell people about you, the company, or anything you want to add in? Do you have any promos or deals going or anything like that you want to let people know about?
I would like to encourage our community to continue supporting local businesses.
That's a great one. Support local businesses. Yeah, absolutely.
Any local businesses. What I'm seeing is continued lack of diversity because small mapa shops are not going to compete or survive with the large stores.
Yeah.
And although you can get things cheaper and more affordable, you don't want to be stuck with only one option of cheap and affordable.
Yeah. The funny thing is, we talk about this a lot here when it comes to like pricing on financial services and the things we do is, I tend to be a value shopper personally. I have found throughout my life that the cheapest solution to my problem is usually never the best solution to my problem, or it's just the cheapest solution. But I've also found that the most expensive usually isn't it's not usually what I need either, right? It's usually somewhere in the middle. It's usually not the cheapest. It's usually not the most expensive. But that's me personally because I'm a value shopper. That's what I'm looking for. Is I'm looking for the sweet spot. I want the best that I can afford.
Yes, I would like us not to wake up one morning and find out that we have only 3 companies left, and those are big box stores, and it's all corporations, and that's not what I think our community is about. But yes, come and see us. Even if you decide to take your business somewhere else, we can give you the educational part and all the in and outs and what you need to know to make sure that your hard-earned money is not wasted.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Alexander, thanks so much for being on the show with me. I've really appreciated it. It's been fun hearing your story and learning a little bit more about you and about your company. That's going to wrap another episode of Kitsap Matters podcast. Thanks for listening, and we will see you next time. This is a community-focused podcast, but sometimes financial topics do arise, and since the host is a licensed financial professional, we have to include the following disclosure in every episode. The strategies and concepts discussed are for educational purposes only and do not represent specific investment, tax, or estate planning advice. Investing carries an inherent element of risk, and it's in everyone's best interest to consult a tax, legal, or investment professional. Kevin Campbell is an investment advisor representative of and advisory services offered through USA Financial Securities, a registered investment advisor located at 6020 East Fulton Street, Ada, Michigan 49301. Peaks Financial is not affiliated with USA Financial Securities.